the Sports Renegades podcast on SportstownChicago.com.
Renegade, never been afraid to say what's on my mind at any given time of day, cause I'm a renegade. Never been afraid to talk about anything. Renegade, never been afraid to say what's on my mind at any given time of day.
You know, I can't remember the last time we had a show. It's been forever, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we were talking about this off the air. We had a show, let's see, a few weeks ago, and then before that we were off 3 weeks because of holidays. I think we had Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and then we were
the
back.
weather.
Yeah, and
then
then
we didn't have a show
that's
last
right,
week.
The weather, because we were off for 3 straight weeks, and then we were on
1 week.
2 weeks ago, and then off last week, and now here we are.
Yeah, and going back to today's Thursday's always the TNT NBA games, right?
Yes, I think the All-Star reserves are going to be announced shortly.
Yeah, they announced Jimmy Butler's one of them.
Right.
Atlanta got 3 guys. They got Jeff Teague,
Horford, I think.
Al Horford, and Paul Millsap. And I was
Right.
just thinking, when I read Teague, I was just like, man, it's too bad the Bulls had to draft a bad Teague. I mean, the one that couldn't play basketball for his life and had no
Marcus
business.
Teague. Is he even on a team anymore?
I don't know who would want him.
He's probably in the D-League somewhere.
He'd probably make a team like Philadelphia worse.
He could. It's possible. But
going back to
Philadelphia's just awful.
Yeah, they are. So are the Knicks. I was actually reading that I believe it was TNT. They dropped a national television game between the Knicks and the Lakers.
I'm glad they did. Nobody wants to see that.
I don't know why you would want.
You might as well try to give some teams that are doing really good some national exposure, like maybe Milwaukee, who's doing okay. And,
Golden State. You know, if I was a Knicks or a Lakers fan, I wouldn't want that game on national television.
Right. I mean, it sucks because those are like 2 storied franchises, and I mean, the Knicks don't have a whole lot of championships. I think they only have 2.
Yeah, they were both in the 70s when there weren't even very many teams.
I think they won in 70 and 72, something like that. And then the Lakers, of course, have been good for a long time, and they've been really bad the last few years.
Yeah, and the Knicks, but even when they drafted Patrick Ewing, they could never get past Jordan and the Bulls. And the 2 years that they did, they couldn't get past Hakeem Olajuwon in Houston in the finals.
Right, which is kind of a surprise. I'm sure a lot of people probably had the Knicks in that 95 finals, 94 finals. It was one of those.
Yeah, I believe it was the first year that Jordan was retired. So all it took for the Knicks to make a deep playoff run was for Michael Jordan to retire. And one thing I wanted to talk about was this just absolute nonsense from Jeff Van Gundy. Like, I mean, someone needs to tell him he needs to just shut up. He doesn't know what he's talking about, saying that the Bulls' relationship with Tom Thibodeau is beyond repair and that he wants out and the Bulls want him out.
Right, and there was a report out today that Gar Forman and Tibbs had like a little, like, sort of had like a heated argument, but I don't know. I don't think that's true. And even if they are having a heated argument, you know, it's not like Tom Thibodeau's going anywhere.
Right, and then someone said that the Bulls are going to fire Thibodeau if they don't make a deep playoff run, and I'm just like, why would they fire one of the best coaches in the league?
He's the best coach they've had since Phil Jackson, obviously, and Phil Jackson's the best coach they've ever had. So it's interesting, and even when Phil Jackson was the coach, there was always arguments between him and Jerry Krause.
Yeah, remember when I think it was John Paxson and Vinny Del Negro, and Paxson grabbed Del Negro by the tie for playing Noah an extra minute and was like threatening to beat him up.
That's something that I don't think he would do to Tibbs, but Tibbs does overplay his players a little bit.
I think they'd be afraid to do that to Tibbs.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and the Jeff Van Gundy comments, I mean, this isn't the first time he's done it. Back in the 90s, Jordan befriended players on other teams so that they would let him score.
Right.
He said Scottie Pippen paid the officials to not give him foul calls. Like,
I guess that's how Scottie Pippen lost all his money. And then well, because he lost all his money in like a gambling, not a gambling thing. He lost all his money from like insurance fraud or something.
Yeah, doing something stupid.
And now he has to get paid by the Bulls. He's an ambassador for the Bulls. He gets to sit in those nice courtside seats by the opposing bench, though.
Yeah, or he gets to sit in a nice suite. Yeah. All for free. Yeah, and you really know that his job with the Bulls is just because he's a big icon. They probably didn't even need his position. Then they decided, well, we could probably give it to Scotty. Except, I mean, other than MJ, there's no one better to give it to.
Right. Did you see the Bulls and Golden State game on Tuesday night?
I did, and I have to say, for once, Noah looked good this year. I mean, he looked healthy.
He was very good, yeah.
He didn't just look good. He looked healthier.
I think he had something like 12 points, 15 rebounds.
18 points, 15 rebounds.
18 points, 15 rebounds. I mean, that's just outstanding. And he was really good. And Derrick Rose was almost the first player since a long time, I think since the mid-'80s, he was almost the first player to have at least 11 turnovers and 0 assists in an NBA game. But then he got that assist on that Heinrich 3 that put the Bulls out in front by 2.
Yeah, and he sure made a hell of a shot to win the game, too. I mean, that was an awful shot to take. Like, there's, 2 tall defenders in his face. He's off balance from literally a foot in front of the 3-point line, and it swished right in.
The Bulls got lucky because Klay Thompson at the end, he was very... I don't know if you saw the highlights of the game. He was indecisive on what to do, on whether to shoot the ball or go and put up a floater. He put up a floater. He could have drove all the way to the hoop, and it bounced off the back of the rim, and that's how the Bulls won. Otherwise, it would have gone to a double overtime. And I don't know if the Bulls would have won that because I think the Warriors are a little bit of a younger team. They probably had more energy than the Bulls would have had at that point.
Right, and they're healthier and going. Yeah, they're probably a lot healthier. And speaking of the Bulls' health, did Mike Dunleavy get his? Did he get his leg amputated? Because I swear he got injured, and the Bulls are like, oh, it's minor. He'll be back in a week. And I swear he hasn't played since early November.
The last time he played, I don't know if you remember, he was out in November. He came back, I think, January 1st. He played like a game or two.
Did he really come back?
Yeah, because I was listening to something on the radio, and I heard Mike Dunleavy is questionable for tonight against the Lakers. He's been questionable for like weeks, but he's been questionable, and
it sounded like
he hasn't played a game since January 1st.
I mean, it sounded like such a minor injury, and he's been out since November. And I'm wondering, did he get his leg amputated?
Well, it's sort of like the Doug McDermott thing. Like, we didn't think his injury was as serious as it's been. He hasn't played since November.
Well, he had knee surgery though, and he did play in a game a couple games ago.
Yeah, he did.
He had knee surgery. I mean, Mike Dunleavy, they just said he injured his leg, and he'll be back soon. And then the Bulls start struggling. And then these idiot analysts are saying, oh, the Bulls are struggling because Mike Dunleavy's not in the lineup. And it's just like, you think the Bulls are struggling because Mike Dunleavy isn't in the lineup?
They're struggling because Derrick Rose has an awful field goal percentage, and he's a ball hog.
He's been doing a better job as of late. He did a great job of driving the basket. Granted, he did miss a lot of shots against Golden State.
Well, those 11 turnovers, that's inexcusable.
Right, and
no matter how good or bad you are, you don't have 11 turnovers.
And Jimmy Greedy Buckets, he heard that the Bulls were offering him a max contract, so he decided he didn't need to play anymore because he's playing for money. I don't like this guy. All he's doing is playing for money. He's going to go back to shooting 35% from the field next year once he gets his money. Oh, I don't want to be a star. I just want to be paid like one.
I think he was out with an illness, right?
Yeah,
is that right? Or at least that's what they're saying. But
he's probable against the Lakers, which this is the kind of game the Bulls would. If it was a home game, this is the kind of game the Bulls would lose. They'll go and beat a great team on the road in a tough game, or they'll blow out, and then they'll come at home and lose to a bad team. That's just how it goes. Like, remember they beat.
I think they've had home losses to the Magic, to Utah, to a couple other bad teams, and they've. Then, of course,
Boston.
The Celtics. And then, of course, they go on and beat Golden State on the road. They beat Washington on the road, Toronto on the road.
Don't forget they beat the Clippers on the road without Rose and Gasol.
That's right. I remember that.
Without Rose and Gasol, they beat the Clippers on the road, and then they go home and lose to Boston.
Oh, it's very disappointing, but it's also kind of humorous.
Yeah, except you can't listen to these moron fans who are like, oh, just keep losing the games. We don't want home court advantage in the playoffs. We play better on the road. Yeah, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works, especially in the playoffs. That's not.
Yeah,
how it works.
Like.
In the playoffs, you'd love to have home court advantage.
Right. I mean, that's just a fluke, though. Like people, Cowboy fans, we're 8-0 on the road. We're gonna win the Super Bowl if we have all road games. Yeah, no, you lost to Green Bay.
Right. Yeah, and then what? Although on a sort of odd game, but still,
yeah, an odd game. Except
I think they still would have lost that.
Aaron Rodgers still would have driven down the field and won the game.
Yeah. So are we both assuming that the Bulls are going to win tonight at the Lakers? Kobe's out for the season, as we know. I think Nick Young is out for this game.
The problem is, this is just the type of game that the Bulls would lose. That's the only thing I have an issue with. This is the type of game that they'll lose.
But they have played really well on national TV. So I think that they'll probably win this game. I don't know how many losses they have on national TV. Not a whole lot.
I think they'll win, except I'm just saying this is the type of game that they'll lose.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely sort of sets up as the type of game that they would lose. But
if this was a back-to-back, I would probably pick the Lakers because of an emotional win against a really good team on the road like that. Mm-hmm. It's like the hangover of winning the next day. If it was a back-to-back, the Lakers probably would win, except they had a day to rest. They'll probably be good to go. And speaking of bad teams, the Knicks beat Oklahoma City yesterday.
I saw that. Poor Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I wouldn't say poor Oklahoma City because I don't like them.
I know. You're not a big fan of Oklahoma City. I like them more than you, but
I don't like them. I do not like Kevin Durant.
Well, see, I don't like Russell Westbrook too much. I do like Kevin Durant a lot, but I'm not a big fan of Westbrook.
Yeah, I hope Durant never gets a ring.
Hey, he might be going to Washington next year. Then he probably will get a ring.
No, the weird thing is I read that the Knicks are going to be major players for him in free agency.
He can't. I don't think he'd want to go to the Knicks at all.
No, I don't think so either. And the thing is,
even if they offered him a lot more money than Washington did or Oklahoma City does.
Well, they can't. It's not like baseball. They can't just go and offer him a ton of money.
Right. You're only able to offer him as much as you can.
No, you're only allowed to offer a max.
Right. So I don't know what the max is.
And it's like for the Knicks and Washington, it'd be like 4 years, $60 million or $55 million, where the Oklahoma City can offer 5 years, $75 million.
Yeah, I mean that'll be tough to turn down. It'll probably.
I'm sorry. No, they can offer him like. I don't know how much they can offer him because the Knicks were able to offer Carmelo 5 years, $129 million.
Right, and the Bulls offered something
like 2 years, $40 million.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, for Kevin Durant, it'll probably come down to either the Wizards or Oklahoma City. I don't think he'll want to go to the Knicks.
Well,
he
what
has
position
no chance
would he
of winning
play?
there.
What position would he play?
Exactly.
Carmelo's a small forward.
I mean, he'd have to change to shooting guard. He could play power forward, possibly.
No, Durant's too small. He's not strong enough. He's weak.
He's tall enough, but he's not strong enough. I agree with you there.
No, I mean, he's really weak. He's not strong.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to continue our basketball talk or maybe football talk.
Yeah, we'll transition into the Bulls, too, as I don't think we've talked about the new hire of John Fox yet, have we?
We did on our last show.
Yeah, we
did
a little bit.
When it was.
But we didn't talk about defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and Mr. Mark Trestman to Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore just must not want to win. I mean, they're going to go down 3-0 in the first quarter. They'll abandon the run, and then Mark Trestman will be like, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, maybe John Harbaugh can be a force and try to, calm him down. And
maybe he'll be fired after week 1.
He probably will.
All right. We'll be right back. Sports Renegades, SportsTownChicago.com.
The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.